Hi, everybody. It's Julie. Welcome to Hello Monday and Happy New Year. So, Valentine's Day is going to sneak up on me before I know it. And I decided I wanted to make an interactive Z fold card. So, these are the dimensions of the paper that I'm going to be working with. And I'm also going to be using the guac on stamp sets because avocados, they're way too much fun. And it makes for a really funny Valentine's Day card. So, that's what I'm rolling with. Now I'm going to go ahead and score this using a scoreboard at 5.5 inches and then again at 2 3/4 inches. And if you missed any of those measurements, they are listed over at the blog post, which is linked down below in the description. This is going to be a landscape layout. So I'm going to flip my card this direction and then go ahead and crease all those fold lines. And there's the beginnings of our Z fold. And then this panel is going to get mounted on top. And this is my main focal panel. Now, I decided just for some added interest, I wanted to round the corners because it just looked a little bit boring to me with those straight edges. So I just wanted to jazz it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to mark off the center line there. That's just going to help me as I'm laying things out and planning how it's all going to go down. Now, I've already die cut some letters from the Tall and Skinny alphabet die set. This is the greatest way you can customize just about anything. When you have alphabet dies or alphabet stamps, man, it just really helps. So I love this die set. I use it all the time. So I'm going to spell out what I want, and then I'm going to line them up on my grid here and use washi tape to hold them together. And then I'm going to take my panel and just temporarily lay those down to make sure everything's going to fit the way I want it. I wanted to use that solid avocado, the smaller one here. And I'm going to put that down in the lower right corner. And I just wanted to make sure I had my spacing good as far as, my expression that's getting laid across that panel. And then I can go ahead and remove those, get them out of my way because I don't want to, stamp on top of that washi tape. And I'm just going to temporarily set them there onto the base card, which is waiting in the wings. And then I'm going to ink up with some water-based dye inks. These are by Catherine Pooler. This one is Melon Eyes, and it's a luscious shade of green, a lighter green. And then I'm going to come back in and re-ink that stamp partially with some Martini, which is a darker green. And then I'm going to use one of those smoothie blender sponges to smooth the ink out a little bit, so that I get, a little bit more. It almost looks like I watercolored it, even though I didn't. So it's kind of a cool effect. Now, you can be as precise as you want with it, or perfectly smooth blend, or whatever floats your boat. I just kind of did it roughly, and it kind of looks, watercolored. So now I'm going to go ahead and add the outline image, get that stamped, and then I'm going to take the avocado center, the seed, the pit, and ink that up with some mandarin spice. And then I'm going to clean that off and grab some sandcastle. Now, this is a lighter tan color, and I didn't want to cross-contaminate that ink pad with the mandarin spice ink, so I cleaned off the stamp first. Now, if you're just going from like yellow to darker yellow, you don't have to do that. But anytime your colors, risk cross-contamination of your ink pad, you'll want to clean off your stamp before you add that next color. So I also got the face stamped on there, and then I'm going to take the coordinating die and die cut that shape out of that panel. And then I already have the larger avocado, which I stamped using the same technique, same inks, onto a piece of scrap Nina, and then I die cut the big fella out. And then I'm going to go ahead and mount these two together, kind of overlapping each other, using some tape runner. You can use whatever you want. You can use a glue pen, glue dot, whatever works. So it's going to show, the little avocado is going to show through the opening there. So now it's time to start putting the rest of this together, and I'm going to grab those letters now and get those glued onto my panel. And this has become like my favorite way lately to attach letters or words that have been die cut to my panel here. And of course, all those letters, if you're just doing them one by one, it's kind of a slow, tedious process. But if you use the washi tape like I'm doing here, it can like pivot to the left as a hinge, right? So you're going to open the hinge and it reveals the back side of those letters. And you can grab a fine point glue pen and go ahead and apply glue to the back of those and then set those in place. And you can just keep on going. You're just going to continue moving from left to right, laying those down. So you don't have to do them all in one fell swoop because sometimes, the glue is going to dry before you get the whole phrase completed. So you can just work a couple letters at a time and get them anchored down and then just keep going. And everything's going to lay out exactly the way you intended because of that washi tape hinge. I know. I was feeling really brilliant when I figured that out. So I'm going to get this finished up. And I did speed up the camera. I don't really apply the glue that fast. I wish I could, but I was trying not to make a mess. So now I'm going to burnish those down with my bone folder and let them dry. And then when they are dry, I can go ahead and carefully peel that washi tape back on itself so I don't pull upwards. So you want to kind of roll it and fold it back on itself and then peel it away in that fashion. So now I'm going to take my panel. I need to get that mounted to the base card. And I'm just putting some adhesive on the back of that panel and also on the base card. I just want to make sure it's going to be stuck on there nice and make sure I don't have any adhesive hanging out the edges. You can always remove it with one of those adhesive erasers, but anytime I can, save myself a step, I'll do it. So now we've got this attached and we're going to open up the card completely and I'm going to trace the opening here because I want to have a sentiment appear through that window. And then I'm going to pop this back into my MISTI. And like I said, I can't remember if I did say, but I'm working with the regular size MISTI for this project, not the mini. So I wanted more platform room here. So I'm going to get that sentiment mounted into place using those pencil marks that I made. And then I'm going to ink up with some black ink. And this is my favorite black ink. This is the VersaFine Claire ink in Nocturne. So then I'm going to take my eraser here. This is that Tombow Zero. I think it's called the Mono Zero eraser because it's so super skinny and it enables me to get into really tight spaces. So I'm just going to erase those pencil lines and flick away, the eraser fines. And there you can see how it pops through that opening there. And I probably should have stamped it just slightly lower in hindsight. It was up a little bit higher than I wanted. But, my husband is, he's not going to know the difference. He'll just think it's clever. So now I'm going to pop my little lady avocado through the opening there that she was die cut out of. And then I can go ahead and put washi tape there to hold her in place. And when I flip that over to the other side, I can apply my tape runner so I can get it glued down exactly where it needs to be. Now I can peel away that washi tape. And there you go. Everything's in the right spot. And then when you open this card, you don't see the big fella. You just see her peeking through. And then when you open it, you got him by her side. And then, you're so extra. And I'm going to take the little I love you stamp from the Love Notes set because I was like, oh, I want it to say something else in there. So I grabbed that. And you can use whatever you like. And then I decided for a last bit of embellishment, I was going to add some hearts. And I just grabbed the confetti kisses. And this is a really great die for making like tons of like little hearts and X's and O's and lips. And I just wanted the hearts. And then I decided in the end I only wanted one heart. But I had this scrap of watercolor paper from a previous project sitting in my remnant bin. So I just grabbed that and die cut through that. And then I added a little foam pop-up dot to pop it up there. And there you can see how that is. Oh, it's so cute. I was just feeling really, really like proud of myself for this. Anyway, I hope you'll give the Z fold with a little twist there a try. And thanks for watching.